So the current Senate Republican health care bill appears to be running uphill. The list of senators on the Republican side currently opposing that plan has grown to half a dozen. My next guest says the bill's main flaw is that it ignores free market principle and simply throws more money at the problem. That man is Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson, here with me in the Capitol. Nice to see you, Senator, and Bill, thank you for your time. So, in a nutshell, what's the beef?
Well, let me first correct you. I'm not opposed to this. I've just said I'm not a yes yet. What I want is
is that wiggle room then? Or well, clearly open to negotiation?
Listen, we need to fix these collapsing markets that are Obamacare. We've got to drive premiums down. And so what I want is first of all, the time to consider this thoroughly, to allow my constituents in Wisconsin a chance to review it, provide their valuable input and feedback. And I'm not asking months, but let's take a couple weeks. Let's be thoughtful about this. Give me a chance to make the case to improve it. I was trying to make the case in the Senate, pretty much largely ignored. We literally are ignoring the fact that Obamacare artificially drove up premiums, double, in some cases triple. Now, there's a reason for that. We refuse to do the root cause analysis. We refuse to be honest, and I would say courageous enough to point out that all these things that sound nice have very serious negative unintended consequences, called doubling and tripling your premiums. If we address that, so many things could happen. People that don't actually work, the folks Bill Clinton talks about, busting at working 60 hours a week, they could then afford health care again. Right now they're taking the risks. And you lower premiums, the subsidies the American taxpayer are funding would also be reduced. It would be a win-win situation, but we have to have the courage to address it.
Be clear on this, though. You say give it a couple weeks, so give it some more time to look at it. But as it stands today, you're against it, correct?
I'm going to oppose the motion to proceed because it's too early.
Okay.
That's completely different from saying in the end, no matter what I'm forced to vote for, as imperfect as I know it will be, my evaluation will be, is it continuous improvement? Does it leave us all better tomorrow than we are today? Now, that's a pretty low bar, but we've got to look at those premiums.
Under Senate rules, in order to proceed, they need 51 votes. Right now, you're a no. You're not a yes.
For this week.
I just want to be clear about that.
This week.
You write in the New York Times the following on screen. Like Obamacare, relies too heavily on government spending and ignores the role that the private sector can and should play. Look no further than how laser eye surgery went from exotic to affordable during the years it was not covered by most insurance, end quote. How does that example, 30 years private sector?
Sure.
As an accountant? Now,
and by the way,
DC,
in the competitive private sector, I would have loved to have been a monopolist as a plastics manufacturer because I had to compete. My prices were a whole lot lower than I wanted to charge. My quality and level of customer service were a whole lot higher. That's what free market discipline actually does.
Just come back to the example that you give in your piece. Why do you give that example, and how would that apply to the greater good?
Because laser surgery, by and large, has not been covered by insurance. And absent the fact that somebody else is paying for it, when consumers are actually paying for it, they actually provide that price discipline so the cost of laser surgery is actually declined while the quality is improved. That's what happens throughout the rest of the free market system. In healthcare, because only 10 cents, roughly 10 cents of every dollar is paid directly by the patient, people don't care, they don't know, and they don't care what things really cost because a third party is paying for them. So we've got to reintroduce free market-driven price competition that would force providers to provide price transparency. It really would restrain the costs in healthcare, and that really ought to be our overall goals. How do you restrain the cost of healthcare? How do you improve quality? Make sure we have innovation so we have more life-saving techniques and devices.
7 years ago, you ran for the Senate, largely on Obamacare.
Right.
You were one of the biggest, most vocal voices in America saying that you want to repeal Obamacare.
I want to fix it.
If given a binary choice between a yes or a no, are you willing to vote no?
I'm going to vote no on a motion to proceed this week because it's just too soon. Yeah, I want the time to improve this bill. In the end, as I said, whatever bill that I'm forced to vote on, I'm just going to take a look at it. Is this continuous improvement? That's my manufacturing background. I will take the incremental gain, but I want the incremental gain to be far more than it is right now with this bill.
Last comment regarding your Senate colleagues. What have you shared with Mitch McConnell, and how has he responded?
I've been very upfront of this. I've told him, don't jam me. And the other thing, I've been trying to enforce a problem-solving process which starts with information. Bill, this is such an alternate universe. We've gone through this process absent of an awful lot of information until we finally get the CBO score at the very end of the process. We need better information at the start of the process. If you have that information, you define the problem, you set goals, then you devise the legislation. We just do it completely backwards, and we end up with this result.
Senator, I appreciate your time. We'll see what happens today, okay?
Have a good day.
Ron Johnson, the Republican senator from Wisconsin. Thank you.
Thank you.